Well, hello and welcome to Jimmodism Total Nerdy channel. Today we will do another StarMade compact tutorial. How to make a simple elevator. I will show you how to make the simple elevator, how to make it go faster or slower intentionally, and also, some wireless buttons as well. So what you want to do, you want to select the basic rail block. And you want to put down a long lane of the basic rail blocks wherever you want your elevator. Then you will go to the advanced build mode by clicking Control, you probably know that, and we have this docking section. On the docking section we have the Create Docking button. Click the Create Docking button. Then you just select the part of the rail. And now you will need to select somewhere to spawn the core. So I will spawn it just next to this rail here. And then you use the scroll wheel to orientate the core, and you want the core to be orientated upwards because otherwise you will get confused when you try to build. I will just name it elevator for convenience. Now your elevator piece starts to move wherever it faced. Now you will need to take the basic rail again, and you will make one rail block face upward and one rail block face downward. Beside these rail blocks you want to press down a button, place down a button, so that it will be touching this rail block in any way. Then you select this button with the C button and you hold Shift and click V to hook up all of this. Then you take the other one and do the same thing. Now you can click these buttons in order to control the movement of the elevator. However, the elevator does not stop at floors, which we will do now. To do this, you will select the place where you want your floors to be. I will put down 4 floors at random locations. This will be my 4 floors. Then you will take the rail and you will scroll it until you have a rail that goes sideways. Place it beside a button. And just to make the point here, of course, we don't need this upper part because it stops here anyways. So now you select the button and hook it up to the rail just beside it. Using the CV buttons. Now when you click the rail, it will now automatically stop, and you need to click again to make it move, and the elevator will stop at every floor. Very convenient. However, you probably want to have some nicer button systems and be able to control it. But firstly, we will need to build the elevator floor. What you can do here is you can use the middle mouse button to jump directly into the core. And because we made sure to orientate our nice little platform the right way, we're not confused when we jump into it. And I will just make a very simple elevator platform, which will do for our little elevator thing. So we can just jump back into the main structure using the middle mouse button. Now you will place down more buttons. You want buttons on each floor. And you will make sure the buttons does not touch the rail. Because if they do, they will get accidentally activated, which is not anything you want. Now you take the buttons and hook them up to the control buttons. So the upper button goes to the upper rail, and the lower buttons go to the lower downwards facing or downwards controlling rail. Now you should be able to use any of the buttons to either call the elevator up or down. And be careful to not forget to hook any of them up, because if you do, the button will obviously not work. And if you've forgotten, you hook them up by selecting the button with the C key and hook it up with the V key. You can also unhook them the same way. And because we only want to hook one block to one block, we will not use the shift feature, which will select all the connected blocks of that type. Now we will proceed into making wireless buttons. I will also take this opportunity to add one more feature that you might want on your elevator, which is emergency stop. You just spawn another button and you paste a sideway rail and you hook it up to everything, all the connected rails. And you need to make sure to connect up the sideways facing ones too, if the platform is there and tampering with your work. So when you click that, you can just anywhere. Now I clicked outside, which made me jump out. You can just make it stop anywhere to act as some kind of emergency stop. Now we want to wire this up, so we will spawn wireless modules beside buttons here. They don't have to be beside, but for simplicity. Select C, V. Then select the button again and hook the wireless module back up again, so we have a double linkage. And we do this because otherwise the wireless will not deactivate itself. We bind them up to a button like this so that they will deactivate themselves. Now of course we need to do the same thing at the platform. And as you might understand, this is why many people do not have wireless control on their elevators, because it takes up some space, as we need a button and a wireless module for all the functions. And we want to double hook them to each other. And also, before I forget, if you want someone in your faction to use the elevator, despite what settings you have set for the ship's faction permission, or if you want anyone to use your elevator, even if they're not even your friends or in your faction, then you actually have to put this is public permission modules beside each of these. And of course we need to do that for the stationary buttons as well. So these buttons can now be used by exactly anyone. These buttons can be used by your faction members only. And if you don't put this, the buttons will be usable only according to what you set in your faction module. I can place down a faction module here if I don't have one, yeah. And you just oh, now we have some bugs, so I can't go into this because StarMade is sad at me, but anyways, if you go in there, then you can set what kind of permission you want to have for your thing or structure. May it be a station or may it be a ship of any kind. Now you unfortunately manually have to go with your astronaut to the elevator to hook up the wireless things. This will probably be updated sometime. See you in a moment. Alright, hovering around here in person, you just select this wireless with C, and this is of course going upwards, so we connect it to going upwards, and the wireless block is connected. And then you need to do the same thing for all of the blocks, like that. Wireless logic blocks connected, and this one will be stop. So we connect it up here. No. Oh, I selected the button. Don't do that. Select the wireless. And now, if we align ourselves with the elevator, we can now use the buttons on the elevator to go up, down, or even stop, which is pretty handy. Now, this sad thing is pretty slow, so let me show you how to make it go faster, or slower for that sake. What you need one of these GL exception. You want one of these rail speed things, rail speed controllers I mean. It doesn't matter what direction you place them down in, just any direction works. And you want to select it, and then you want to Shift V and connect it up to all of these, everything, yes. Then you actually need to connect some activation modules to it, and you may connect I think up to 6 or something, but it doesn't matter too much. Say we can have 4 just to prove the point. Now every one of them is activated, so we might try to move the elevator down. It doesn't react because this speed is set to 0. This basically calculates percentage. And if we activate 25%, we can see we have a lovely sluggish little elevator. And if we have even more modules and only have one activated, of course the percentage will be lower. If we keep half of them activated, then we have normal speed. If we have 3 of them activated, we have more speed. And if we have all of the connected elevators active, well, then we have full speed turbo elevator. And it is enough to only have one module connected to symbolize the 100%. Isn't that nice? And when you also have this, you can basically discard your emergency stop thing and use this thing as an emergency stop. Because if this one is not active, well, then it's set to 0% speed, and that means the elevator stops. And when you activate it again, it will continue its previous movement. So it makes pretty much good sense. Anyways, that's how to make a simple elevator. And if you're not Atronam or something, you probably don't need to make immensely complex logic systems. This type of simple elevator is the most adequate solution for most ships, because realistically you will not try to share the same elevator with more than 2 people at the same time, and in such a case I think you can find a nice way to cooperate. If you would be trying to share 20 people one elevator at the same time and everyone wants to go at different floors, you need a much more complex solution, and that will take so much wiring that if you're completely new to StarMade, you probably just want to satisfy yourself with one of these simple elevators. If the need will be, I will do a more complex rail elevator tutorial in the future, or maybe already have done so when you're watching this video, I don't know. But in any case, I make more tutorials nevertheless, so you should probably subscribe if you like StarMade. So anyways, I'll see you around. This is GModism Total Nerdery's channel's compact tutorials, I hope. And I hope anyways, more than anything, that you have enjoyed the video and that you have learned something new. See you around. This is GModism Total Nerdery channel, signing out.